Alright, thank you very much. Hello everybody, it's your good friend Pozzible here, and I'm back in action with my not movie review. It's time for the next batch. It's time to look at what movies are coming out next week. And boy, did I forget to fix that one. Well, here I am today, might as well keep going. We're talking about movies that are going to be coming out on the weekend of January 24th. Every single one of them. And that one being Frankenstein. Real quick, for those of you who do not know, it might be new to my program, we always preview the wide releases that are coming out over the course of the weekend. We don't go over limited releases because you might not be able to see them. Heck, I know I won't be able to see them, so there's no point in previewing movies like that. This is kind of a preview before we review. We want to see, did the trailer sell us on an idea with Frankenstein? And I'm going to say ultimately they did, for me. That's just going to be me talking here. Because let's face it, what do you got? You got your action-oriented movie. You've got immortal people like Aaron Eckhart playing Frankenstein's monster. You know, one of the confusions that a lot of people are complaining about is that, remember, the monster was not named Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the name of the doctor who created him. But I believe that because this takes place several centuries after that, he takes the name Frankenstein because that's the way people know him. You know, he's the one who's actually around. The monster, the doctor is dead. The doctor's been long dead for a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, and if you can think about this or find this, please put it in the comments below, as I am too lazy to look this up. Frankenstein's monster actually did have a name. We all know it's not Frankenstein. Again, Frankenstein's the name of the monster. It's a silly thing to be worried about, but everyone associates the name Frankenstein with the monster. But the monster apparently took the name Frankenstein after years and years of roaming around. He had to be called something. Okay? That said, the monster unfortunately has been cursed with a scarred face and immortality. He really can't die. Well, he might be able to die if you kill him in a certain way. But the point is, he's been around for a long time. And there's these two clans of immortals that are battling it out, ready to enslave humanity, as always. This is from the producers of Underworld, so it looks a lot like Underworld. And instead of lycans, or should we just call them werewolves, versus vampires, it's now going to be immortal versus immortal, with Frankenstein somehow stuck in the middle. We all know that somewhere, somehow, Frankenstein has this secret about him. There's the secret to immortality, which shouldn't bother these two other clans. They're already immortal. But for some reason, it gets them to doggins, and only Frankenstein can solve the riddle, or, he's the key to whatever it is. Sounds like Blade meets Underworld with a little bit of Legion, To talk about all these corny action movies, it seems like they just stretch so far. They want to push the envelope in terms of reality or acceptability to the extremes just so that they have an excuse to show off all this fancy CGI and amazing special effects. Okay? Ultimately, what can I give this movie? Well, I cannot really give it a pass. I like Aaron Eckhart. I like these kind of movies. They have good parts to them. They have some really bad parts to them. But I can't give it a pass in good faith. That said, I really can't give it a see it either. I haven't really seen much reviews on this. Rotten Tomatoes is still pretty blank, not enough going on. This movie may be one of those movies that is not screened for critics. So that being the case, it obviously has to get a decide. This one's going to be totally up to you, whether what you're able to find, what you're able to understand. Will this really be the movie that you want to see? This? If it's your kind of movie, I would go for it. I mean, this really gets a niche. This is your niche, see it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It'll have its good parts, it'll have its cheesy parts, but hopefully it'll be entertaining, and that's what I'm expecting from Aaron Eckhart and the groups from Frankenstein. Well, guys, that's it for me today. We'll see you at the theaters.